Yes, we are back. We are back. So-called Black in America. I'm your host, Yakanan. And listen, it feels good to be back once again with y'all. I appreciate y'all joining us. I got an exciting show for y'all. And we're gonna get started without any further ado. And as you could tell, I am feeling better this week. I am feeling better. I made some type of concoction. Let me tell you, I got a bunch of leaves. I got some eucalyptus leaves and some mango leaves. I got some soursop leaves. I made me a tea. I did that a few times, and let me tell you, whatever it was, the head cold, whatever, is gone. It's gone. So let me tell you, that thing had me feeling good. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing nothing or anything, but listen, just a suggestion. If you feeling bad or whatever, that's a suggestion because it had me feeling good. But again, that is not any medical advice. So make sure y'all understand that I'm not giving any medical advice on this show. All right, but listen, with all of that being said, I'm excited about today's show. I really am. If you haven't gotten with me a little bit earlier and I didn't give away what the topic of the show is, then I'm gonna tell you right now what the topic of the show is. We're gonna talk about it because what I really want to know about is your relationship a distraction? Is your relationship a distraction? And we're gonna talk about it today. And I got two guests. Listen, we're hanging out with the fellas today. And want to hear nothing from the ladies later on. Like, the show would have been good, but you didn't have any ladies on. So, we couldn't speak. Because listen, I called a bunch of women today and earlier this week, and none of y'all wanted to come on. So, you know what? You know me, I'm about put up or shut up, and y'all didn't want to come on. I heard everything from my hair's not done to I heard all kind of stuff. So the fellas are here, the fellas represented. I appreciate y'all for being here, and I got two fellas with me today. And without further ado, here we go, fellas. What's good? What's good? I appreciate y'all joining us. I appreciate y'all. Listen,
All right. We're very
I'm gonna
thank
let
you.
I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves. But listen, this is I got a smile on my face because so one of my guests, let me tell y'all, one of my guests, and y'all gonna laugh about. So one of my guests I've known since the first, what was it, first grade, since the first grade. I
Some of
mean,
them for the first
we
grade.
we go
Yeah.
back, like we go way back, way back. And I'm not gonna give away our age, but trust me, that was a long time ago, right? That was a long time ago.
It was.
And let me tell you the story about how we met. So we had just moved in Tracy Towers. What was we, like 5 or 6, Alfie? What was we?
um, you were six for a month or so. I
Yeah,
just because I had just moved in a couple weeks or a month maybe or so, whatever, after you guys did.
yeah. So we
But
had just moved in.
just
And
heard.
so let me tell you. So somebody kept hitting the door and running. And my dad would go to the door and look, and nobody would be there. So this is in Tracy Towers. For those of y'all not from New York, Tracy Towers is two big buildings. One is 41 stories, the other one's 40. So, two big buildings. We lived on the 35th floor. So somebody would bang on the door, boom. My dad would go to the door, look, nobody was there. So he go, so next time, happened a couple of times. So this time he stayed there. Boom. He comes back in. He comes to me. He said, son, there's a boy coming to the door, banging on the door. He about your age. All right. He said, next time he come to this door, I'm gonna open this door and you better get him. He said, you better get him. So let me tell you. So next thing you know, he opened the door and me and Alfie, we didn't know each other. I mean, he came to the door. My dad looked and we were scrapping. We were scrapping right there, and it was funny. We got these two little 5, 6 year olds scrapping. That's how we grew up back in the days, in New York. And listen, from that day on, you didn't see Alfie unless you saw me, or you didn't see me unless you saw Alfie. We was tight, like thick as thieves. We was tight. In fact, me and Alfie was talking the other day, and I was the only kid that could come over his house when he was on punishment. Like real talk. Yeah, we was tight, like real tight. And you could
Oh
see like
yeah.
years later, shoot, 50 plus years later, here we are, still friends.
Woo, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, Dag, I gave our age away, huh?
Not really. You gotta get trained, not,
I got close, right? I got close.
a little bit, not
All
Yeah,
right. So listen, I had to tell that story.
it's cool. I'm gonna finish it because there's a little bit more to the story. Just that, well, a little bit.
All right. So introduce yourself and then
Oh,
finish the story, and then we're gonna let Micah introduce himself. So go ahead.
okay. Good evening, everyone. Peace, blessings be upon everyone. My name is Alfie. I mean, I got a honorable name, then I got my 5% name. I'm not gonna put all that out there. I'm going with my nickname because that's what my brother know me by. Anyway,
Right.
yeah, we go way back. Tracy Towers. I think it was maybe the end of the summertime. We were both 6 years old. We were about to start the first grade, and what had actually happened was, I was kicking doors, but I messed up, and I went to dump the garbage. My mom's called me to dump the garbage, so I had to go get the garbage. I go get the garbage. I'm 2 stories down, but I wanted to kick that door one more time, so I go up garbage. And like a dummy, I kicked the door, but nobody was. Now I'm thinking nobody home. So I go to put the garbage in there. I get yoked up while I'm putting the garbage in the garbage. Actually, he might have thought excuse me. He might have thought I went in there to go hide, but I went in there dumping the garbage, and I was hiding because I heard the door open. So when I opened the door, brother, y'all started yoke me up. So I got out of it, and I had him in a little headlock. He had me in a headlock. So his dad, I was so happy to see his father. Did I know who he was when he came out? He brought me inside. We sat down, put us like on timeout, and we had time to sit there and not speak, and then started speaking. Come to find, went to the same school. This, that, the third, and then I think it was your mother that brought the snacks out to us, and we had like sandwiches, Kool-Aid. So yeah, this my friend now.
Yeah.
After that, we were inseparable. Yeah.
Yeah. Real talk. Real talk, man. Real talk, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the rest of that story, man. Appreciate the rest of that story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I made us shake hands and all that good stuff, but we was already friends by then.
Right. And that's how it was back in the days, man. You fought and you made up. Wasn't no knives and guns involved. You fought and y'all was usually best friends back in the days. That's how it was. Yeah. Real talk. That's how it was.
Yeah. His dog. Listen. Oh, can I tell him this about?
Yeah, guy.
All right,
about
so
little man.
We were talking about this, right? And recently, and he had a dog. I didn't have a dog. I had a cat, but I wanted a dog. So, man, I love his brother so much. It was like his dog was my dog. So I felt like I had a dog. You know what I'm saying? The way to describe it was like I didn't have a dog, but I had my best friend's dog that was my dog. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My dog's name was Little Man.
Little Man.
I had a dog named Little Man. His name was Little Man. Everybody in the building knew Little Man. Little Man. Yeah.
He used to play tag with us.
Yeah.
no bull crap. He used to play tag with us, man.
Yep.
Run back to the base and everything.
Yep. All right. So hey, now that we got that out the way, yo, Micah, put us on. Talk to us, man.
What up, man? Yeah, Micah, man. Thanks for bringing me on, by the way.
No problem.
Well, I live in Texas. I've lived all over. I lived in Oregon, Washington, Arkansas, now and settled in Texas. Yeah, been here about almost 11 years now. So
okay.
Yeah, living down here, me and my family, and then started a couple of businesses, do some podcasting as well. I've been podcasting for about 7 years. So yeah, then I'm in the real estate business. So that's basically the backstory.
Okay, cool. And can I put your business out there about your wife?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So listen, in case y'all didn't notice, so his wife, the last name might look familiar. So his wife was on last week. Mahogany is his wife. So I had her on last week. I tried to get them both on this week, but she was a little busy, so she couldn't be busy. So I tried to get them on as a couple. I thought that would have been pretty dope, but she wasn't able to be on here because she was busy. So and while I mentioned that, let me say she is not one of the sisters that was scared to come on. She just has some earlier family obligations. So I don't want to make it seem like she's one of the sisters that was like, nah, doing it. Nah, she has some family obligations, so she couldn't be on. So, but listen, I appreciate y'all for being on. Definitely appreciate y'all. And without further ado, we are going to get started with today's topic. Now, listen, I have to put a disclaimer out there because I don't want any of y'all's wives going at y'all talking about, oh, really? All right, because of the show. And I don't. So with this being said, today's topic, which is your relationship a distraction? I just want to put that out there that there could be a good distraction or a bad distraction. And furthermore, I'm not necessarily talking about your specific relationship. Okay. I'm not talking now. If you want to talk about your relationship, you can, but I'm not specifically asking you to answer about your specific relationship. Okay. Just talking about in general knowledge, from things that, your general knowledge, things, and things that, just general knowledge type stuff. We're going to talk about those things. Okay. So I want to put that out there because I don't want nobody getting hit upside the head when y'all go home or when y'all get off camera or anything like that. I don't want none of that. I'm not trying to start no family violence up in here. Okay. We don't want violence. Okay. So we're not looking at that. All right. So with that being said, when I asked the question, is your relationship a distraction?
Crazy. I was, he's right now because I've been at work all day. It's separate.
Okay. That's that.
Come get us something, but yeah,
that's cool. That's no problem.
Oh, I got a door up now. Yeah, I got a door.
All right. Listen, when I asked the question, is your relationship a distraction? What's the first thing that comes to mind? What do you think about when you hear that topic, when you hear that question, is your relationship a distraction? Micah, we're going to start with you. What do you hear?
For me, if you question if your relationship a distraction, that's like you stepping in something without intention, right? Because I think everything in life, it needs to be intentional. If you have goals of where you're trying to go. Also, any relationship that you in, once you're to a point of where you know where your goals are and where you're trying to go, there shouldn't be a distraction. They should be adding on to where you're trying to go. You should be able to provide value to them, and they should be able to provide value to you. I think a lot of times people do end up in distracted relationships because I don't think they're really haven't truly found themselves and found out what they want to do and what they want to accomplish. So they end up just living life by default instead of by design. So yeah, I do think a relationship can be a distraction. I've had distracting relationships, but I've been married for 10 years. I've had this prosperous relationship where it's been the distraction of we're at odds and things ain't going the way we need them to be. But when we're both clicking, we're on the same page, we're on the same wavelength, we can accomplish anything together. So cool. I think it's a matter of intention.
Okay. Talk to us, Alfie.
Okay, here you go. This might be on the flip side. Okay. Positively. Okay, distractions. My relationship, it was a distraction in the beginning of the relationship. And what I mean is I wasn't always a good guy. Let me just say that without names or any incriminations or anything like that, and by the way, life's a complete 360 on that. But anyway, I was distracted from the things that I was doing that I shouldn't have been doing because of the relationship. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Real. So, and I would be so frustrated, like, man, this woman, man, this and that. And I ain't gonna get in trouble. In fact, I'm gonna get probably a pat on the back. And I told you so after this is all done. But yeah, the distraction was for the positive reasons, to force me to focus on what's important in life. Remaining free, your freedom, of course, setting an example. That was the biggest part of that, because I saw that as I got more distracted from what was not what I was supposed to do, I got more on what I was supposed to do. And I saw how that example I set for my son was affected him. Mimics what I do. Our children mimic what we do. So, it kept me away from being in trouble. Is it a now? Of course not. It's an encouragement. But the memory of distraction that it was is less than forward. And I'm gonna have to come get her. Because this is an important subject. Unfortunately, I had to go to the private office. Is that cool with y'all?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. But yeah, nowadays it's not a distraction anymore because I remain grounded and focused. I know what's important in life.
Right.
I know that giving back pay it forward, as they say, for the community is one of the things in many different ways. It could just be the people that you see moderately when you go to the store, how you interact with them. My whole input and output on life, on how I move, walk, and talk, and do everything is different now because I don't have to portray an image that became so uncomfortable for me because I had to be this gangster, hardcore individual. I never really was that person.
Mm.
And so, yeah, and then it was distracting me from getting that money, distracting me from being stupid, not, fully growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And no longer is it a distraction. Now it's an encouragement. For
Okay.
me,
Okay.
I just
Okay.
share that with everyone.
Right. Right. That's deep. That's real deep. That's deep. So you hit the total opposite side of what somebody might think about when we talk about distraction. So I appreciate you putting that out there because, a lot of times somebody might think of, as what Michael was talking about, a lot of times we think of distraction. When we think of distraction, we could think of it keep hindering you from what you need to do, what you need to do. But, talking about a distraction from keeping you from
Mm.
the negativity, that's a whole nother side of it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a whole nother side of it. And that's a positive, where it can be a distraction from keeping you from the negativity, so that's deep.
Mm.
That's deep. That's real deep. So let me ask you, when we talk about relationships now, why do we think so many people are failing at relationships? Do we think that people are getting into relationships in this day and time because of their being so, in other words, are they more into being in love with the fact of being in a relationship rather than looking at themselves and figuring out, are they ready for a relationship? So in other words, is that relationship a distraction from everything going on around them and going on in the world, instead of them taking a look at themselves and seeing, what, am I even ready for a relationship? What do y'all think about that?
I'll
Mm.
be real with you from my perspective. I think relationships are failing because I think when people come in contact with the person that is right for them, they ain't really ready to look in the mirror and fix what's on their plate and what's on their.
Mm,
I think that's what a lot of people fear, especially in America. Everything wants to point a finger, and
right.
nobody really wants to look in a mirror. I think mirror is one of the scariest places for the human to really look at because
Mm,
that's where you really try to, you know, that's where change and growth has come from, right? Everyone really rather be comfortable. What
mhm,
comfortability doesn't get you anywhere. It's the opposite of growth. So when you really want to look in the mirror, I think that's where a lot of relationships fail too. Like I think that's why the divorce rate's so high. I think it's going to
mhm,
be high because I think this new generation is this gentle, like I'm not knocking like gentle parenting, or I think we so gentle to the point
mhm,
where if somebody says something to you that you need to hear, they take it as offensive instead
right.
of, and taking it as guidance or whatever. And I think that's where it comes from. But I think that's also comes from like as a child. How I noticed in y'all story, you were talking about your father there. You know what I'm saying? You said your dad opened the door, and
Yeah.
then your
Yeah.
mom, you said your mom came and made y'all, that it sounds like you had a family dynamic of discipline
Right.
and love. And I think that's missing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And something else that you mentioned, um, back in the days, even for single family homes, the older brothers that were outside,
Mm-hmm.
they looked out for us. So they were the figures that we could depend on and rely on, that taught us how to be men as well. If you didn't have a father in the home, you still had that male figure to look up to.
Mhm.
Whereas a lot of they don't have that anymore. They don't have that anymore. You
Mm.
know, a lot of people, because there's no male role models anymore, that people look at sports figures and these rappers as role models now, unfortunately. You know, so, and it's sad. We don't have that anymore.
Mm.
You know, what do you think, Alfie?
That's deep, very powerful, and very true. Both of you brothers, and when I reflect back, it makes me think back. Back in the days, think about it. There was only a few channels we had. I think it was 4 channels on television. It was ABC,
Hmm.
NBC, and it was what we had local channels, 3 of them. So we probably lucked up and had 3 or 4 channels more than most places. I remember down south, some places had 2 channels. My point being that our access to information, outside of newspapers, or I mean, like day to day, what's going on in the world, TV, was that. And when cable came and channels started emerging out of nowhere, and then of course later on reality TV shows and things of that nature. But the media hype, the internet, the social media hype, this Facebook, Twitter, this, that, all of these things are distractions that add to the relationship the distractions of relationships. Within the topic of distractions,
Right.
because I don't know about you guys, and I'm not saying recently, but just looking at other tables. When I go on a date, we put our cell phones up, but other tables they don't. It's like 2 people sitting at the table eating together on their cell phones.
On their phones.
What difference is that than
Right.
sitting home at the dinner table doing the same thing and not
Right.
even paying attention to your children because they're on the Game Boy or that's probably not even what they call it nowadays. My fault, but you know my point.
Yeah.
I can see that. You know what I mean? It's so many just wrong things now because the expansion of television and social media and just media access and it's just back in the days we didn't have that.
Right.
So we were able to focus more on the older guys on the block, or you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
our dad who were at home, and even for us that didn't have, we had a friend. Everybody had a friend who had a mom and dad. If you didn't have.
Right.
Moving forward in the 80s, everybody didn't have that. Without now from the 2000s and the 2010s, and you know what I'm saying? So I think that the intelligence level, supposedly intelligence, or the technology, let's call it that because that's what it is. The technology advancements in the world played a part in the distractions of relationships. It affects the problems of relationships are all connected to something on social media. You got a couple speak to each other because they're mad. And the moment that the husband goes to work, the wife is texting him or putting a post on Facebook when you should have the opportunity to not only speak on it in the privacy of YouTube, but squash it.
You bring up a good point. So not only you bring up a whole nother dynamic of not a relationship being a distraction, but distractions within a relationship. So that whole social media thing to where people are talking to perfect strangers about their relationship and getting advice from perfect strangers, people they've never seen, met in their life, people who probably aren't even in a relationship themselves, and here they are telling them what they should do with their relationship. Meanwhile, they're not even in a relationship themselves. They can't be in a so you bring up an interesting point. Social media. So social media is a big, huge distraction, and I know that kind of goes in another way, as in distractions within a relationship, but I think it's definitely something worth talking about because you are 100% right. There are so many distractions, and I think social media is a huge distraction in a relationship. In fact, you have let's talk about this. And I'm not gonna say whether it's indicative of females or males. I'm not gonna say that. We're just gonna put it people. We're just gonna say people will sit there and put anonymous messages on, and people that are in couples, okay, people that are in relationships or marriages or whatever, they'll put things on there like if you don't this, then why should you do this? Or if you don't do that, then why should you do that? Now, they will say that it's a random thing that just came to their mind. However, not realizing that anybody who knows you, or even anybody who doesn't know you, or anybody who's reading that, automatically is going to associate that with your relationship.
Yep.
They're going to associate that comment with your relationship. So you cannot just put a comment, a by the way random comment on your social media, especially when it's a negative comment. because people are going to automatically associate that with your relationship. Now, some people might sit there and say, so what? It doesn't matter because I know what's going on and I know me. But the fact of why put negativity or why draw that type of energy, why put that type of energy towards your relationship? So and I know we've all seen it. What do y'all think?
I'll go ahead. I'll let you go, Alfie.
It happens all the time, man.
Mhm.
It happens all the time, and it's like, and then when they do it, they get mad at the response. Sometimes,
Right.
if it's
Right.
not agreement with what anger they're feeling or whatever what is that they're venting or what have you, I've seen it. You know, I've seen the bandwagon. Like you got bandwagon, how you call it, friends or
Right.
Facebook and this and that. And then you have, they just get on the bandwagon. You don't even hear from them for a while. You might even forget that they even that you're friends or whatever. And as soon as somebody attacks something that you say, whether political, religious, or what have you, here they come. You know what I'm saying? But you, my friend and a friend, but who are you again? That type of situation. So
Right.
it in so many different levels
Right.
to the madness that it has to stop. We need more of what we're doing now because this is positive,
Right.
and it's so little of it that I know when I look back at this, I'm probably going to tweak what could be better. How can it's steps to perfect yourself, or not perfect yourself, but better yourself.
Right.
And even if you'll never get there, it's the journey where in that which we grow.
There you go.
We found ways to not grow in relationships, and we found ways to justify the distance or the lapse of time in our growth. And when we get dissatisfied, we just end things. And think about this, it costs more to divorce than it does to actually marry.
Hey, and you hit some stuff on the head, man. I think when you brought up social media and distractions, I think everyone wants fast information for that quick dopamine hit. And I think that's what people really after, right? So when you have an issue in your relationship, you just post it on social media, get a quick dopamine hit from whoever commenting, whatever else. And it goes back to kind of what I said, where I think people think relationships are microwavable. Nah, it ain't wave. It's fake. You got to bake it. You got to put stuff. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to bake it.
Right.
But with social media, everything's fast coming to you.
Right.
You pick up a phone. I can go Google something and get an answer immediately, but working on yourself, man, that looking in that mirror, like I was saying, it takes a lot of in-depth thinking, a lot of demons you might have to face, a lot of trauma you might have to face, but you got to really go through it. And I think that's the problem, like that quick dopamine of information, that quick hit, that's what social media is, a quick hit. You know what I mean? Crack.
You're right. Speaking of that mirror, I have a picture I put on my Facebook page. It's a picture. It's a mirror, and it's an apple looking in the mirror. And the image that the apple is showing is a regular apple, but the back of the apple, what you can't see on the mirror side, the apple's all bitten and all rotted on the other side.
Wow.
But the part you see on the mirror is the nice shiny side. You know what I'm saying? But you can't see the back. Can't see the back. And I posted that on my Facebook a couple of times, so, and that's indicative of a lot of people and a lot of things, a lot of things in life, period. We only portray the good side. We only portray the good side of what's going on, and we don't portray, that rotten side, what's going on. And a lot of times we only want to see the good side. We don't want to see the bad side, and it correlates with what you were just saying. We don't want to see the bad side. We only want to do the good things, and a lot of times, and going back to something you said earlier, a lot of times we have to do the work to fix ourselves. We got to put in that work. We have to put in that work. It's funny, but I just heard today, Keke Palmer, she made a statement, and she was talking about the whole 50-50 thing. And she was like, listen, she said, a lot of women are talking about 50-50 and how they wouldn't do 50-50. She said her mom and dad worked their whole life. You know, they both work their whole life. And she said, and if she wants to give 50% or 70% or whatever, who is anybody to tell her what she should give, you know, in a relationship, you know? And the thing of that is, I think it's cool because you have so many people on social media who are pushing certain narratives. You know what I mean? But when you hear certain people, especially that are, you know, up on her level, you know, we down here, but people that are up on her level that can say how they really feel and everything like that, instead of saying what they think the masses want to hear, especially a lot of women, because you know a lot of women might not want to hear that, you know, but what the mass of women want to hear, I applaud her on that. You know, I applaud her, and I think that's what it's about. You know, not just showing that the good side of the apple. You know, showing the whole apple. Listen, you're not
That's
going
right.
to tell me how to dictate my life just because you think that that's what you want to do. Because the fact of the matter is this, you know, and I think more of us need to take that accountability as well, and it goes with doing the work, you know, doing the process. And a lot of times I think people think that the 50-50 is all financial, but it's not always financial. You know, it could be just doing your part. It could be emotionally, you know, it could be mentally, you know, doing your part, you know, and giving, you know, so that the relationship is not a distraction. You know, Alpha, you mentioned earlier how your relationship now, it's not a distraction. You
True.
know, it's not a distraction anymore. But in the beginning, you know, it was a distraction from keeping you from doing those things that you were supposed to do. So the
Mhm.
thing about that is that she was actually helping you. That distraction was a benefit to you.
Ain't that something? It
Yeah,
took me
it was
opportunity.
that was a positive distraction, keeping you from doing the things that you know you shouldn't have been doing and you really didn't want to be doing. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And you really didn't want to be doing. So that distraction was a positive thing, you know, and I think and so that's part of doing that work, and neither one being afraid to give all that you have to give in a relationship. You know,
Mhm.
I think that's part of just you know, both parties, not one person sitting there waiting for the other person.
That's right.
Because of one person sitting there waiting for the other person, and this person sitting there waiting, then what's the use?
Ain't
What's
nothing
the use? And if you have to do that, then you're not ready to be in a relationship and you still
wrong.
got some work to do, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Talk to me, y'all. Talk to me. I talked a
That,
lot just now.
oh man.
About Kiki,
I,
man.
woo.
Thing about Kiki, what I love about her is she got a lot of confidence, and it
Yeah.
goes back into what we talked about earlier with like, look at the household she came from. She didn't
Hmm.
see she's giving you her blueprint. Like, yo, I didn't
Right.
see what this two thing work, parent thing work, or however it is, and she giving you the blueprint. You know, and
Right.
we see people on social media. We don't know, like you said, we don't know who these people are. I don't
That's
know
right.
where you come from or nothing else, and I don't know your intention. So,
Hmm.
you know, I'm happy. I am happy she stands up and said, you know, she'll stand on business real quick. Like,
Right.
hey,
Right.
I
Real talk.
and you know, relationships, you know, I always say personally, I forgot what book I got it out of, but I always say relationships are 100 because
Hmm.
y'all both got
I
to put in
agree.
100% to get to where you want to be.
I
50-50.
agree.
I understand the 50-50 thing too, and I understand it, but it's one of them things where sometimes you can't give it 100. Sometimes you know, so sometimes it got to be 70-30. You know,
Right.
because
Right.
that's a beautiful part about relationships. Can you pick me up when I'm down? Vice versa. And I think a lot
Hmm.
of people end up in relationships where either they're doing all the work or they're attracting people to them because of their unhealed spirit or something of that nature, and they don't ever want
Mm.
to be like, why does this person like me? You know, so
Mm.
that's a huge one right there that people don't look. You know,
You know what?
See,
Yes. That let's talk about that for a minute. How many
yeah,
times do we hear, you know, I'm always attracting these type of person. I'm always attracting this type of person. This type. It's because of the aura you're letting off. It's because of the aura you let. There's nowhere in the world you would always attract this type of people or this type of person unless you were letting off that type of energy.
mm,
mhm,
You know, and I myself, I myself was a victim of that. I was always attracting the same type of female at one point in time, and I had to take a break. I took a break. I didn't date any women for a year. I didn't date. I took a break because I had to reset. I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. And at this point, it's me. At this point, it's me. It's me. You know, it's me. It's not them. It's me. And I had to take a break, and I had to fix myself, and I had to, you know, evolve and see what's going on and what it is. Why? What am I doing? You know, stop hanging out at the same places you hang out for, expecting different results and expecting to find different type of men. You know, you're hanging around the same people, you're hanging around the same places, you're wearing the same type of clothes, you know, you're taking the same type of pictures, you know, you're taking a picture with your behind facing the camera, turned back, and you're wondering why you're only meeting guys that want you for your body.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, stop doing the things that you were doing to attract the type of people that you're getting, that you're saying that you're not wanting. You know, and that goes for men and women. I'm not just saying for women also, but the brothers out there, same thing. So yeah, I just wanted you hit that point. I just wanted to put that in there. So you're 100% right. I apologize if I cut you off, but I couldn't let that go. Look, the way my brain works, I forget things real easy.
No, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I went through that phase of my life too. Like when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, I used to meet women all the time. But after I kick it with them for a few weeks, I was like, man, I don't really like her. How did I was attracting, and I started realizing I used to meet women when I was drinking. So when I sobered up, I didn't like them. They didn't like me. They thought I was the fun hoopah guy. And like, nah, really, bro, I'm really a nerd. I like to read, sit back, chill. So once they figured that out, they like, oh, I don't really like you. And I was like, I don't really like you either. So I had to really check myself. Like it was me. It was the aura I was giving off. It was the personality I was giving off, but really was a front. It wasn't me. So yeah, man. Once you find that who accepts you and understands you, you be happy. You know what I'm saying? You can really find that peace.
There you go. Let me ask you a question. How old were you? How old were you when you started realizing that? If you don't mind me asking.
Ooh, I was 23.
Okay. So
know.
you found out at a fairly young age, to be honest with you, because usually, you know, 23. Listen, I was in the Marine Corps at 23.
Ooh,
I know I still wasn't. I was still, that 23. I was,
See, the thing about my life is, man, I got married when I was 25.
Okay.
35 next month. But
okay.
Thing what I did was when I was 19, I left home. Like I was like, I'm about to just take a risk. I'm gonna leave home. I'm gonna try something on my own. I was supposed to go to Atlanta, but something happened with my family and I couldn't go. So I ended up going back to where my family's from in Arkansas. And I lived there for 5 years, went to college, dropped out a few times, but I eventually finished. But
Okay,
what
good,
it was,
good.
it was building me up. You know what I'm saying? I was getting comfortable being uncomfortable, if you will. You know what I mean? I was being uncomfortable. I was living outside my comfort zone at a very young age. So, you know, by the time I was 20, by the time from basically 19 to 25, I was really kicking it. I was on the road moving. I'm in different states moving around. So I just got to see a lot and seeing like where I was in my comfort zone. And I like wanted to attract something to me so I can be prosperous. I want to build something. So when I was 23, 25, me and my wife got married. So it's been, you know, it's has ups and downs, but man, it's prosperous, you know.
Right. That's dope. That's dope. Alf, you look like you was trying to say something over there. My bad.
Before, but every time I think of something, one of y'all finish it. So it's cool. Cool. But just face back on some of the things. One of the things was we was talking about, I forget the name that you had mentioned of the individual, but it was when you saying the 50-50 and the 70-30. Very true.
Keke Palmer.
Oh, yeah, I know that is. Because I was like, who's Keke? Keke Palmer, of course I know what that is. But yeah, sometimes, man, it's like this. If you committed to the relationship or what have you, if one's doing 60, the other better do 40, or there's going to be an imbalance. The point is that balance has to always be there. You know what I mean? And I commend you, young brother, for getting out there and taking that risk. A lot of us were scared to do it, or we wanted to take a risk, but when we had the valley of choices, we leaped in the wrong direction, taking a risk or taking a chance on something. We should have took that chance there. Like I should have went to the military, but I guess it wasn't meant for me to do that. Because you know what? I met a lot of people that had been there, experienced it, shared it with me. And I got a best friend right here that went through it. So if I got any questions about it, I got somewhere to go for that.
Real
so
talk.
like I told you in whirlwinds of where you're supposed to go. You know what I mean? It's your job to figure out the how and why. Like with this problem with the distractions that we're having in our communities. on, because of social media and this and that. We can't make it go away. So as black men or just as men, period, and just as people, women and children included, we have to figure out a way to harmonize and to communicate with each other to find a way to combat that. How do we combat this technology, this social media, this hype that's going on, because we can't make it go away? How do we even take it over? Overthrow it.
Right.
Control it, contain it, or not let it consume us. That's what we got. Until we figure that out, we're gonna always be dealing with this, man.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you something out of Nick Cannon page, and this is what changed my mind on social media. He straight up said, if you ain't on social media for a product or something that you prefer you to produce, get off of it, because all you're doing is being a consumer. So that's what I tell people. If you ain't on it to push out there, then you're just nothing but a consumer, and it's going to consume your time. And then it has no choice but to be a distraction. So like me and my wife with social media, all I do is get on. It's 100% business. I'm either doing a podcast, I'm promoting something that's of mine, because the only good thing I love about social media is I could promote whatever I want to promote free of charge. And that's what I tell you. That's all you need to be on social media for. That's all you need to be on social media for. Like, because I know that's how you met my wife, right? Social media.
Yeah.
Y'all two producers. Hey, let's do this. Boom.
Yep. Exactly. And that's deep. And there's another thing, we could do is, in the family structure, start bringing back family time. A lot of times we get so busy in the hustle and bustle, and don't get me wrong, I know because of the economy today, a lot of times as parents, we don't have time. I'm a single parent. I have a child that I'm a single parent. So she gets home from school, I'm helping with homework, then it's time for me to cook and everything like that. But I try to take time out and spend time with her, so in that family dynamic, we need to start trying to bring back that time to where we, even if it's only an hour, let's take an hour out of our time, whatever time we have. Let's take an hour to turn the phones off. Turn them off. You ain't gonna miss nothing. Your whole family there. What you gonna miss? You know what I'm saying? Turn the phone off or put them in your room or whatever, and spend time with your family, even if it's a board game. You know what I mean? Even if it's watching a movie. Me and my daughter, we have movie night. She likes to watch movies, and she'll tell me, "Hey, can we have movie night tonight?" So we'll have movie night or whatever. And we'll do that. So whatever. Uno. She likes to play Uno. We'll play little Uno cards and stuff like. Whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Try to bring back that family time when you eat. And Alpha, you mentioned it. When you eat dinner together. Start eating back at the table. A lot of people, the kitchen table is just to hold the mail these days, to hold all the junk mail,
Wow. Over to my table right now.
clean the kitchen table off and go eat dinner on the kitchen table together. No phones allowed, no tablets allowed at the table, no phones allowed at the table. That's family time. We need to just those small little things. Let's try that first. You know what I mean? Let's try that first to try to bring back the family dynamics. Let's use the family as a distraction to keep the family together. Let's try that.
Bro, you speaking some good game, man, because every Friday we have it.
So I'm about to go get the mail off my table.
Like my household, Saturday night's date night, Friday night is either family movie night or family game night. Every night we doing something. We either doing Monopoly, we doing something. And another thing is, one thing that me as a black man that I noticed growing up is, and where would have been a lot farther is, why don't we do what other cultures do with their kids? They take them to what they do. So for example, if I'm a plumber, my son knows how to be a plumber. So we do it with our kids. When me and my wife out here doing real estate deals, I take my son with me. And I ask questions while we doing it. Like, hey, what did we just look at in this house? How did this look? What did you need to do? See, I want him thinking like that. And that's bonding time too. And that's a lot of time we don't even spend.
Ooh, yes.
that's the game you can give to a kid, and that's the generational wealth you can really pass down. Because now when he 18, he's in there. He know it, you know. And that's
Listen, yes. I was just talking to a brother I used to work with about this because we have been programmed to think about where we're going to go work, who we're going to go work for. That's what we've been programmed to do. And so our children, we inadvertently program our children to think about who they're going to go work for and what they're going to, what they're going to do when they grow up. And we need to start teaching our children, how many people are you going to have working for you when you grow up, when you get older? What business are you going to start when you get older? And you're 100% right. We're one of the only cultures that we're quick to kick our kids out at 18. We quick to kick our kids out of the house at 18. But you hit it right on the nail. A lot of different cultures, they pass down family businesses. They pass down family businesses. And you're right, such and such and son. Such and such and son. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. And they bring as a family business, family land, family business, family land. But is so last week's show, where's I did on the Black Dollar. So a couple of days ago, I put out a video on an idea that I had, and told people, listen, get in touch with me because all this, and then thing I wanted to start, try to get networking going between melanated people. I haven't had one person get in touch with me. Not one person.
Not one?
Not one. Not one person.
Wow.
So, it comes to the point of, we talk a good game. We say a lot. We do rah, 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 all this marching, all of this. We shall do this and we shall do this and what we want and unity, power this and power that. But then when it comes time to try to establish something, where are we? We're not there. We're not there. And unfortunately, this is one of the biggest distractions that we have, bringing it full circle back to the distraction. This is one of the biggest distractions that we have, is we think that we are too busy thinking that when our culture brings something up, that it's got to be a scam. Or it's got to be a scam, or nah, I don't trust that, or something. But yet we trust in everybody else. We trust in everybody else that's not in our community. We quick to trust everybody else.
Hook up. We always want the hook up from each other.
Right. We quick to trust everybody else. If some of these other people from different cultures said the same thing I said, they probably would have had about 1 million people signed up for it, because they would have put their trust in them. As many things has been done to our community over the years for us not to be so trustworthy, but here it is now. We try to put things together so that we can, try to build our community and get businesses going within our community. So we start, representing each other, and nobody, not one person. I had a couple of people put likes and everything. That's it. Not one person said, hey, you know what? Sounds like a good idea. Sign me up. I'm with it. Not one.
Me and my wife's first business we ever started, it was actually a Black advertisement business called Melanated Business, and it failed. But one thing I did was, this next business we started was our real estate business, and it's been going ever since. But one thing, what you just talked about, one thing I realized about people and what you have to do to draw them in is doing what we're doing now. Advertise, like we were talking about, being a consumer.
Right.
Keep doing this, and people will come to you. So like with me, I podcasted for 7 years. Still, I'm about to hop back on a new one. We about to create another one, but that's 7 years of just me podcasting. people seeing my face, what I noticed was people are attracted to people that look like them. So me talking about all this real estate stuff for 7 straight years, I now built a community and a network of people that I can go to with ideas, or I can go to it, hey, let's do this. And I've
Right.
started multiple businesses with other people, black people that look like me, because of just me just doing this. So the more you do this, watch,
Yeah.
you see the more people gonna start coming to you. So yeah,
Well,
just
that's
keep
good.
consistency. Yeah.
I'm trying. You know, like I mentioned, you know, I was on the radio. I had a radio podcast for like 2 years, and so
Yeah?
yeah, I had a radio podcast for about 2 years, and so now I'm just getting on YouTube. So I'm getting on YouTube now, and I had been talking about YouTube, and so now I'm on here on YouTube. So this is huge to me, and it was funny because my first episode, I mean, I had all kind of technical difficulties. It was hilarious. I had all kind of technical difficulties, but it was still good. But you know, I think this is what, like my fifth. I think this is like the fifth episode I've done on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying it, and you know, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna put them out there. So I was a member, and some people might say I shouldn't, but I'm gonna put the. So I've been on the so on Facebook. There's a group called Black Podcasters Network, and I was with them for 2 years. Okay, all of a sudden this week, they've been rejecting all of my posts. I've been trying to put posts on there, yeah, since I've been on YouTube, but I'm gonna put them out. Yeah, I'm gonna put them on blast because I even reached out to the admin, and I saw where he saw my post and asked him what's going on, and he just ignored me. So it's funny how we do each other, you know. And I'm putting them on blast, and they could block me if they want to. But yeah, so they rejected all of my posts. All of my posts. I tried to put my show on there, and I've been on there for 2 years. When I was on the radio, it was no problem, but now that I'm on YouTube, they block all my posts. So you know, we got to do better. We got to do better.
Yeah. Hating hard work.
Yeah, we got to do better.
Wow, man. But yeah, man, that's wild. But yeah, man, keep it up on the YouTube thing, man. Because people visually can see you, they can connect with you. Bro. That's what it is, man.
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. I do. I definitely do. And listen, we about to wrap it up here. And I got one last question here, and then I'm gonna have y'all say a last statement. If y'all could say anything to the younger brothers out there, and I know, so compared to me and Alfie, you know, Micah, you are young, because I got a 30-year-old son, you know. So, but listen, talking to the younger generation, because it's about them now. You know what I mean? It's about them. Talking to the younger generation and distractions and relationships. What would you say to them if you had anything to say to them? What would you say to them that are listening, that are watching us right now? What message would you like to give to them?
Let Alfie go first. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, before I answer that, I'll say, trying to be like them to get them to hear you is the worst way to get a message to them, because you just get clowned by them. Being who they want to be inspires them to listen to you. So what I would tell them is, don't be me. Don't be like me. Be better. Be greater than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
I would tell them, man, aspire to be greater than me.
You know how would they go up? What are some steps they could do to do that?
Get an education, right? Make someone else other than yourself equally proud of your accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like this, but you need it, a high school diploma, GED, because, you know, make your mom proud. Do it for her. And then do and get what you want to make you proud. But do something for the one that gave you everything you have, far as you know, first. Then go ahead. Not sure of what you don't do it for them. I don't want to go to school. Man, do it. Make your mama proud. Make your father proud. Make your grandma, your grandpa, whoever's taking care of you. Do it for them first until you figure out what you want to do for them. You'll be surprised at how quickly you will figure that out. That is.
All right.
Because that ain't what I did.
Appreciate that. Respect.
That's good.
Appreciate that. Talk to us, Micah.
Me straight up, man, because I got nieces, nephews, some of them in good places, some of them in places I wouldn't want to be. So honestly, I would tell them straight up, man, is after you get your education, just come from a place of contribution and a place of serving. Once you come from a place of servitude, the people that things that you need and things that you want to get, it'll come to you. But you got to be in a place of servitude. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to serve, be able to help, invest in yourself as much as you can, because the more you invest in yourself, the more that you can give. And that's the end of the story. If you can't have nothing to give, you don't invest in yourself. So that's why all these books back here, most of them I done read, I try to invest in yourself as much as possible. Invest in yourself so then you have something to give back. And you'll have more abundance. And be grateful. Have gratitude for the smallest things, and abundance will come.
That's dope. That's dope. I appreciate that.
You're gonna be a bad dude, man. Like you already a bad dude. You're gonna be a bad.
Yeah, possibly. I'm trying.
There you go.
Father, being a parent, you make a brother, like a person like me, proud that I never gave up or never will give up. No, real rap.
Straight up, man.
There you go. And listen, Mike, listen, first of all, I appreciate both of y'all joining me this evening, man. And I appreciate y'all. Mike, I know you have a podcast. Talk to us about your podcast. Let us know where we could reach you at and how we get in touch with you.
Oh yeah, man. My podcast, I ain't really been on it because I'm more of on the back end investment side of it now. But my podcast is Live, Let, Thrive. And basically it teaches people how to get into real estate, start real estate, be sustainable in it, and also how to do short-term rentals in real estate as well. So yeah, we are probably the second longest running short-term rental podcast now on that subject. Wow. Yeah, we ran for 7 years. We're still running. So yeah, that's my podcast. And then yeah, you can find us on social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, everywhere.
Oh wow.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Okay.
And Alfie, look, I'm gonna get Alfie on here to get him a cooking show. Y'all don't know, but Alfie's a chef. He's an aspiring chef. Yeah, he be hooking it up. He be hooking it up now. Yeah. Tell us about some of the dishes you be making.
I get it in, but honestly and truthfully, ain't nothing like, con pollo, you know what I'm saying, curry goat, this and that. But a lot of people, we eat more conscious, I have to say, than we did before.
Right, right.
What I would like to get is some vegan recipes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's what's missing from my roster.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And who knows? Maybe I might go vegan one day. Because I notice as I get older, I eat less and less of what, I know is not really, but I don't want to get all into that. But yeah, I need some vegan recipes. But I throw that, do everything from Spanish food, Jamaican food. Oh man, you name it, I could make it for real.
Yeah. That's another show. I got a brother. In fact, Alfie, I'm gonna have you on too, because I got a brother that wants to come on to talk about dieting and nutrition, and everything. He already talked to me about it, so I'll probably try to get you on for that show as well. But listen, either one of y'all have anything else that y'all want to talk to us about? Any last words?
I'm still in my cheery, nervous mode, which I know I'm gonna look back at this and I'm gonna tweak it and I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna grow. This is a growing step for me.
Definitely
appreciate it. And thank you for having me on the show. That's what I'm my best
not
friend.
A problem.
Yo, thanks for having me here. I look forward to being here in the near future. And
definitely
too, brother. You know what I'm saying? Got me really about to go in there and get on my son about a few things. Just keeping it real. He's 16, about to go to Job Corps. And I got a better way of approaching him now just from this show. Thanks to God.
And clean that kitchen table off.
That's why I said I'm going that way. But that's real, man. We need to bring that back. If I also may add, it's been a blessing and an honor, to be on the show. I can't wait. The next show is going to be with the next, whether I'm on the show or not.
Right.
Tune in, real rap.
Respect that.
And with that, I'm gonna say peace.
Respect that.
Show, man. Thank you for having me on, man. If you ever want me on again, you got my number, man. Thank you for having me on. It was good meeting you, Alfie, man. Y'all both stay up.
Definitely, I appreciate that. And listen, I appreciate both of my guests for being on. And if you were watching the show, listen, I ask that you please subscribe to the show, like the show, and hit that bell. hit that bell. I don't know if it's on that side, this side. I'm not good with that yet, but it's somewhere. It's either here or there. It's on one of these sides. I don't know, but listen, hit the bell. That way you get notified of upcoming shows, and I don't have to send everybody a bunch of emails and all of that. But listen, like, subscribe, check out the show, send the show to your people. We need shows like this, and listen, I'm trying to get the show out to everybody so people can start watching the show. I think shows like this are needed, and there are other shows out there like this as well. And I think shows like this are needed. But listen, I appreciate y'all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the show. And until next time, as I always say, love, peace, and hair grease, y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.